welcome to Fortune's Hiding Down Under TV. Merry bloody Christmas and all that to everyone who had their Christmases with their families in the sun, in the rain, in the grey weather. Yeah, hopefully everyone had a nice Christmas. And yeah, how was your Christmas, lads?
Dave, you can go first.
Very wet over here, mate. Hasn't stopped raining pretty much the whole time I've been here, to be honest. But
Where are you, mate?
no, lovely to see family and yeah, nice Christmas
Where
tree
are
in
you?
the background. Where I am currently in the New Forest in the south of England, in a nice little village called Brockenhurst. Beautiful place, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice, mate.
got donkeys
Matty, how
in
was
the
your
yard and all
Christmas,
sorts.
mate? You had your family
Yeah,
over?
it was good. It was really good. It was absolutely crazy, as you'd expect. 11-month-old and grandparents here, and my 8-year-old as well. So we had no sleep Christmas Eve, but it was good. Yeah, it was really good. It's been hot, hasn't it? It's been really, really fucking hot.
I have not
Which
missed
is made.
What is the what's the temp at the moment?
Right now, I don't know. It's got to be north of 30 still at this time of night. And then tomorrow's touching 30, 37, 38.
Glad I'm not in my garage, mate. I can tell you that much.
But no, it's been good. It started off well with the meet in the pub for the United game, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on. And then yeah, Christmas Eve was good. Christmas Day, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's just when you got family around, it's hectic. But yeah, really good.
Morning all.
Morning, Garry.
Morning, mate. And we've got a little another collaboration with Mr. Garry Clinton. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I've literally got up about 20 minutes ago. I don't know how that happened. I don't sleep in late. I never sleep in late. And
Too many beers yesterday.
Yeah, well, no, it weren't actually. But I think I just I don't know. Maybe I've too much excitement over Christmas. I reckon I'm getting too old for it.
Mate. Have you got a bit of time off over Christmas, mate?
Yeah, I have. I'm not back at work until next Wednesday. So
sleeping
time.
ain't too bad.
It's not, unless you've got something to do. And I meant to get up this morning, have my hair cut, come on here, do something else. Now my schedule's it's all knackered now. I'll have to put it all off till tomorrow. Oh well.
Oh, listen, I said just come over, mate. I've got the scissors, Andy. We'll sort you out. Don't worry about that.
That's a long way for a haircut, though, isn't it?
Don't come over at the moment, mate. You'll absolutely melt. It's disgusting over here at the minute.
I tell you what, that's too hot for me. It's too hot for
everyone.
Yeah, I've been in India when it's in the summer, and it was just it was just cruel, you know. For people like me, it's just cruel. I'll just sit inside a cab and sit in the hotel. I didn't want to go outside.
It's weird seeing someone even in a fucking coat, really, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
It must be for you, right? It must be. So is it really hot over there? Is it like 40s over there at the moment?
It's like 38.
Oh.
And it ain't dropping much more under 29 to 35 at fucking night time.
Oh my god!
No, it's 30 degrees now, and it's 8:30 in the evening. I've just
you've all got air conditioning in your house, haven't you? Yeah, you've all
but it struggles. I've just dropped my mum and dad at the airport, and they're heading back, and we got out the car, and my dad's glasses steamed up because of all the heat and condensation.
Yeah,
and he just said, "I'm fucking glad to be going home."
Gonna miss you too, Dad.
Yeah.
No, I haven't missed the heat at all, lads. I usually do the show from my garage, Garry, so it's like come out of there sweating like hell. It's disgusting.
Bloody hell.
It's like them sauna rooms. My missus got me one for Christmas. I put it in the garage, and I've realised that I don't actually need one in this fucking heat. I really don't. I could just sit outside in my cocktail shoes.
I was going to say, was that some kind of joke that she played on you there?
Mate.
It looks all right, though. It looks all right. I had one of those. I had a sauna. I don't know what it was for, but I went to Turkey once where it's 40 degrees, and I had a sauna in my room there. I can't work out what it's for.
That's correct. Did you have one of those Turkish baths?
Oh, no, I didn't. Crazy. No, I didn't. I did have one of those. My dad took me to a Turkish bath. My dad loved the Turkish bath when I was younger.
Yeah.
And there was one down in Stepney Green. And he used to take us, he used to go for one like every week. And once he was a bastard, my dad, right? The things he used to do to me. I was only about 7. Took me for a Turkish bath, and I swear I've never been back since. You go in there, it's a load of big fucking naked blokes. You go into a steam room, they put you on the side, fucking batter you with his thing.
Batter you, don't they?
Yeah, batter you with his thing. And then we come out and it's the cold pool, isn't it? And I'm sort of standing there like a 7-year-old thinking, I ain't getting in that. I ain't getting in that. Then my dad just picked me up and threw me straight in, the evil bastard. And
I'll tell you what, jumping in the pools over here at the moment doesn't even cut it. The water's that warm. You need, like if there was an ice pool here, I'd be jumping in.
She bought me an ice bath as well. So she got me this sauna and the ice bath. Nice. I think she's trying to tell me my mental health is fucked. But I did my first ice bath this morning. Got back from the gym, did the ice bath, and it was fucking still warm. I put 3 bags of fucking ice in it.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So that's how hot it is here, anyway. But anyway, going on to other news, we had a nice little win over Christmas, boys.
We did indeed, and it was great to have so many Ammers there in the pub in Brisbane watching it with us. Great win. Wasn't a great game, but you know we're in a results business, aren't we? So, and look, it was Christmas. We're playing that lot who I despise, as you know. So, yeah, I was well happy.
It's always lovely to beat them, isn't it? And it's always lovely to beat them. It was actually a really good day out, you know, down at London Stadium. Really good. You know, up until probably 60 minutes, it was dull. Let's be honest, it was dull. It was a bit of a how can I say? Low block was back. Welcome back, low block. We missed you. But the last half hour, I thought we started to go for it. It wasn't just when he put Paqueta up front and shifted the pieces around. It was the attitude in the second half was just much better than the attitude in the first half. And to win it that way with a couple of pieces of magic from Paqueta and you know what, and just an incredible finish from Kudus. The place lift. It went from dead flat in the stadium to, you know, it was party mood by the end. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It was flat as well, wasn't it, Gary? Like I've been there last couple of games, or last 3 games, right? And the atmosphere is just not there at all, is it?
No,
and
you're
right.
not.
It did spark up after that half an hour, and it really got going, didn't it?
Yeah. It's funny, you know. You do need something on the pitch to entertain the crowd. You can't just play low block for 90 minutes and expect the crowd to react, because they're not going to. I don't know whether we're fickle or whatever, but I know for me, the people around me in the Bobby Moore, they try to sing, right? They try to get the atmosphere going, and they do it constantly. They do it all the time, 5-6 times during a game. But it takes something on the pitch to really make it happen. It could be a tackle, it could be anything, right? It's just something to react to.
I think a lot of people, well, this is just speaking out of school because I don't go, but I think with Upton Park, the difference was everyone saw it as a day out at the football. Whereas now there's a lot of fans who go as a day out for a day out in London.
That's sort of right. I think that's a minority, to be fair, Kingy. So that's a minority. I think there's probably at the most a couple of thousand people out of 60,000. You know, most of them are regulars. There's 50-odd thousand season ticket holders. Where I sit, everyone's the same every time I go.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the difference with the Boleyn is that the acoustics were much better, and so it only took someone making an effort, like those guys do around me in the Bobby Moore Lower, to actually start the atmosphere spreading around the ground. Whereas in there, everyone needs to be singing at once, or you can't hear it.
Yeah. That said, though, Gary, there's plenty of times I remember, right? It was hard to get Upton Park going as well, right? If we're in a bit of a grump, then you know, the fans can be a little bit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and you go back. I remember going back in the Pardew season when we made the FA Cup final. That was just like every 5 seconds was just like a gasp or a roar, or you know, real excitement, tension in the place. But I've been to other times at Upton Park, and it's like London Stadium.
Dave,
it's like dead quiet.
What's the difference between the football there with under Pardew and other people?
Yeah, it's not really the football. It's the place. It's the stadium. It's the acoustics, right? It was quiet. It was quiet a lot of times at Upton Park. Dave's absolutely right, but it didn't take long. It didn't take much to spark it off over there, and for the whole crowd to get involved because of how small it was. I once went to, I had season tickets over in the old Bobby Moore Lower for the whole time it was there. And one season, because we knew who was around us every year, right? And one season, this stranger turned up about 3 rows down at the end of the row, and we were losing. I don't know what season it was. It might have been the Avram Grant season. I don't know. It might have been earlier, but it was a terrible season of football, right? And this guy's turned up a couple of games in, and he's got a bit mouthy. He's turned around and he said, "You lot are the problem. Why ain't you singing?" And he starts singing by himself, right? And he's full of, I don't know whether it's the first time he's had a season ticket or what. Anyway, he was full of life. He got told to fuck off, well and truly. He was full of life. About 10 games later, he's sitting there with his head in his hands, right? This guy, and he's still quiet. I walked down there, I tapped him on the shoulder, and he sort of, I said, "What's the matter? I thought you wanted to sing." He said, "Well, it gets to you after a while, doesn't it, mate?" It was just terrible. It's terrible. So it weren't always great over there. It wasn't, and people who say it was are talking nonsense. I think the difference there is, Dave, and all of you, right? What you remember from Upton Park is it was much easier to make a noise and really you could actually be an 11th man if the crowd were in the mood, if a bad tackle went in, if Julian Dick slammed into someone or whatever, the crowd would get up and things would get going. Perhaps that's the difference. Perhaps we need nothing as well as good players.
Yeah.
John Moncur, someone like that, you know.
It does take that spark, doesn't it, to get the crowd going, regardless of where you are, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just weren't coming the other day.
But we've got quite a few comments coming through, so I'm just going to flick through a few and see who's with us. We've got a few online watching, so thanks to everyone for tuning in.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Hopefully everyone got their presents they wanted.
Yeah, we did. Good to see you, mate. Jimmy Nolan, just confirming I've sent my mum and dad home to you, so they're your responsibility from tomorrow again. Good fucking luck, mate. Robert Singleton says good morning. He also said if we had all this wind and rain recently, a relation of his on the Gold Coast lost power for ages. Look, there was a couple of really heavy storms. I think it was Boxing Day and the day after, possibly. They were pretty severe. Brisbane wasn't too bad, but the Gold Coast.
Yeah, a lot of there was a big part of Brisbane that lost power on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But anyway, we're not a weather channel, are we?
I'm going to say we're back on the weather, boys.
Yeah. A serious question from John Osborne. Virgil. Just went on a blow dry before every show. You can answer that, Kingy.
I've got enough time now. I've just gone self-employed today, so I can do my own hair. I can do whatever I want now. So, yes, I have got time, Virgil.
And then going back to the atmosphere at Luton sounds great on the telly. Not always about numbers. I hate Kenilworth Road. But to be fair, teams like that, they come up, they know they're only going to have one go in the Premiership or the Premier League. So they make the most of it. And it does sound great. I love that real old school, small team, small ground atmosphere. It can be really good. But it's very different to your standard Premier League stadium, isn't it?
It doesn't do it for me. I don't like the little stadiums. I'm completely against them. They don't, Luton, for me, they were a horrible team who fucked us over many years ago, not to say at the semi-final of the League Cup. I've never forgiven them.
Don't start Matty off.
I've never forgiven them. Why should I? We always lost to them. It's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. Yeah, Scotty Oakes. He's still, Steve Potts stood on the ball, didn't he? He stood on the ball.
Steve Potts stood on the ball, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, fuck them. Let them get relegated with their silly little grand. Who cares? What was that, sir?
Lars Elstrup. I used to hate him. Anyway,
it's easier to create. Don't forget, it's easier to create. They're excited, of course they are. And look, this is not against Luton fans. Luton fans, I think they've been through the mire, haven't they? They've been through the mill. They've been into non-league. They've helped to recreate that club, and they've gotten back to the Premier League. It's the promised land. But I went to Forest last year, who've been out of the Premier League for years. The atmosphere over there was electric, and that's like 20-something thousand. It's a decent-sized stadium. It was electric, absolutely electric. And we lost 1-0. That was Lingard's first game back. This season, it is flat, dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So go figure. It's excitement. It's a mixture, isn't it? Little grand, so not hard to make an atmosphere, and excitement, because every time they see a game, it's exciting compared to what they've been seeing.
Yeah, 100%. Going into the Man United game, let's have a little chat about it, because there were some great bits of football there, and obviously we didn't do our pub show, which we normally do on the day after the game. So it was Christmas.
What was that? That was Christmas, wasn't it? And were you a little bit rough?
I was a little bit drunk. Yes. I think I was still drunk when I woke up. Actually, it was a cracking night. We had about 50 people turn up.
Yeah, it was good
on the night. Put a load of food on. We had the launch of the channel, and I think everyone enjoyed it. And if you didn't subscribe, I hope, and you are watching now, make sure you are, because we.
I don't think you let anybody in that pub leave without subscribing. even the couples that were trying to have a quiet meal.
But yeah, so it was a cracking night, and it as Garry said, like it was a real hard watch, even on TV, especially Garry. Like, and it was hard, even 50 people in a little room. There wasn't a lot to talk about until like Paqueta gets moved. The little dink over the top to Bowen, which was absolutely sublime. The way he takes that on the side of his foot was just unreal. And then Bowen had 2 goes at it, and then he finishes it off. That man is on a striking form at the moment, and long may it continue as well.
He's different class. He's different class.
He is. And the ball from Paqueta was just out of this world, wasn't it? And that's 5 assists in a row now from him.
Yeah.
And everybody knows how good he is. But when he's playing like he is at the moment, he's fucking unbelievably good. Like world class. That pass was outrageous. And Bowen, he had 2 goals and he still scored. The one from Kudus as well. Like you watch the replay of it, and it looks like a pretty straightforward ball from Paqueta, but only because it's absolutely weighted perfectly. It's in exactly the right spot between the defenders.
Yeah,
Kudus has still got a lot to do, but it's easy to get that ball wrong. If that's me, I get that ball wrong 9 times out of 10. He's just making it.
I've played with you, mate. I've played with you. I know that you get that fucking wrong. Don't worry about that.
I'd be shooting from there. There'd be no passing going on at all.
Yeah. John makes a really good point here, and John's just said, just think that pass from Paqueta doesn't go down as an assist. Shocking.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That one that he put over,
because
it went over the top, because it come off Anana first.
Really?
Yeah.
Load of nonsense, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. If that ain't an assist, I don't know what is. I mean, the real difference with Paqueta is he doesn't need a touch. He does stuff instantly. So defenders, I watched a load of, because I had to. Right, it's the law. If you beat Man U, you have to go and watch their fan channels just to enjoy the moment.
I just watched. Sorry, mate. I just watched your brother's video when I was walking the dog, and I was just pissing myself laughing. And people were just looking at me because I had the headphones in. Yeah. If anyone needs to go and watch a good fucking video to cheer themselves up, go and watch Nick's video on Claret and Booze about the Man United game, because it was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, Gaz, go on, tell us why it's hilarious.
By the way, I sent him the full-length version of that. There's about 6 of them who go into... and they were blaming their defenders. They were saying, so-and-so dropped off him, so-and-so, let Bowen. It's true that they let Bowen make the run, but it was a fantastic run from Bowen. He seems to just go missing and do it. He does it to team after team, so he can't really be that hard on defenders. But that's because he's making that run because he knows the ball is coming before it arrives at Paqueta's foot. Paqueta doesn't need a touch. He just instantly, it's instinct. The guy just puts it over the top. The only other player I've ever seen play balls like that is Payet, and that's because I watched that last game at the Berlin the other day, and he played several balls just like that. That is how you split it. That was funny enough against Man U as well, right? That was a decent Man U side, and he just split them open time and time again, because you can't beat the speed of thought, right? I don't think he even thinks about it. I think it's an instinct with him. He's that good.
Yeah.
100%. It was like the one in the cup final, isn't it? Like it was just perfect at the right time and just split that defence in 2, didn't it?
and Bowen's already making the run, right? Bowen's already making the run. He's played the ball. They make it.
Telepathic.
Yeah,
it was telepathic, mate.
Yeah, and kudos as well. He's making it. He knows exactly what he's going to do. That 1-2 that he played a similar one with Bowen the game before, didn't he? The guy is so good. He sort of feels the ball. You know what I mean? He feels the ball. He knows exactly what pressure to apply to the ball. That ball over the top. Had he put a little bit too much sort of topspin in it, or a little bit too heavy, it wouldn't have come down so perfectly for Bowen. But then you got to give Bowen the credit for bringing it down beautifully, and then Onana credit for being shit and sitting down.
And I think what's got a lot to do with as well is the quality of Bowen and Kudus, right? The timing of their runs, the quality of their way they bring the ball down. I mean, Kudus isn't just doing it with Paquetá, is it? He's doing it. Alvarez did it against the Germans as well. Put in a lovely ball for him and just took it in his stride, didn't he? So you've got two quality players that are making those beautiful runs. It's a lovely incentive to put them through if you've got that ability in your
you know the way when he strikes the ball, when Kudus strikes his goals. He's scored about 3 or 4 like it now, where he takes it away from the defender towards the corner flag and then strikes it back in, and it's going through 2 defenders and got to go through a goalkeeper and hit that back post. That's fucking hard, as I would know because I'm shit at it. But they go miles wide.
Don't even try it.
But like we've got people like Mickey Antonio that wouldn't happen, but he's doing it every time. It's not luck. That's a skill.
Absolutely.
It's brilliant to watch.
And you've also got that confidence that when you see him like on the ball and he's got that space in front of him, you almost know it's 99% a goal, isn't it? It's like he's just got so much ability that you just think he's gonna round this off.
You gotta say, right? Kudos is gonna be world class. He's absolutely gonna be world class. He's not quite there yet, but I did watch a video before he arrived, and someone said he's very likely to become an elite footballer. Well, fucking hell, it ain't gonna take very long, is it?
No, it's not.
Bloke can't stop scoring. He knows exactly. I noticed from the first moment he stepped on the pitch for us. No, that was Luton. Ignore that. From the first moment he stepped on the pitch for us, he first of all, he can't be knocked off the ball. He's so bloody strong, right? Doesn't matter who's up against him, can't be knocked off the ball. Very rarely wastes possession. You give it to him, he can have people all over him, doesn't lose it. If you play him in the right place, he will always hit the target, whether it's saved or not. Always hit the target. And I knew as soon as he was running, I was in that stand behind the goal where he scored that goal the other day. As soon as he got that ball, I said to my cousin, "It's a goal." And he had a lot to do. He listened to his post-match interview. He said he looked for the space. The only place there was space was over on the right-hand side, so that's where he went. He couldn't go down, and hit it with his left. They're happy to put him onto his so-called weaker foot. Well, he ain't got a weaker foot. That's a problem, isn't it? Yeah. He's top drawer, and I'll tell you, if he stays with us next season and he carries on progressing like this, he's going to be 180, 200 million quid.
I fucking hope so, mate. I just got to do this one. Budgie, I understand the plaudits going to the attacking players, but the back 4 was solid for the most part. Emerson was immense going down the left too. Give us a fucking chance, mate. All right? we can't talk about everything at the same time. But how you doing, Budgie? Merry Christmas, mate. But yeah, Emerson, again, I picked him from day one. I think he's absolutely amazing. He's not come here to pick up the checks. He's here to play football. And and the way he travels with that ball, it's just a fucking pleasure to watch. It really is good.
He's telepathic with Paquetá as well, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And you've got to include the Mexican in that back line as well, because he has been absolutely incredible. You know, which game was he away for? He
was away for Brentford. We got beaten away for Fulham. Fulham, we got beat twice. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, at the start of the season, I thought he was decent. You know, I thought we'd found an half decent player, but as the season goes on, he's just looking so tidy, and he's starting to influence games a little bit more.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's more than decent. He's more than decent. This guy, he's another one who we have absolutely mugged off Ajax. I mean, when you think of Man United nicked their manager and a couple of their players that we didn't want, and then we took he left their 2 best players behind. Ten Hag used to manage fucking Kudos and Alvarez, and he's taken the other 2 instead. What's the guy thinking? What is he thinking?
Amazing, isn't it?
And so they've Man United, unless it is a conspiracy against Man U or something like that, I don't know, but but I like to think so. But yeah, we've got some great players. Emerson, bang on. He's been early on, and he's been the most consistent player in that team this season. Right, consistently
Emerson
hasn't put in a weak performance. Emerson, Alvarez, every time he plays, what you got to do with Alvarez is he is the Declan Rice replacement. Right, he does like to get forward. He was to start with just being the blocker in front, and then for some reason Moyes started putting Ward-Prowse alongside him. That didn't work. Right, so he had that little shaky period. Now, I think they've settled on something that I think does work, and that is the same combination that we had with Rice and Souček last year. So Souček sits, and he's allowed to roam forward because he can roam forward. He's good with a ball at his feet, which Souček isn't, right? And he's a big lump as well, and he will score goals. So, yeah, for me, he's been an amazing signing. He's doubled in value already, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Zuma, for someone who's got no knees, he's fantastic.
An half jump for someone with no knees, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He heads the ball really out the box time and again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's brilliant. I love it.
Soufal is Soufal, isn't he? You know exactly what you're going to get with him. You know his limitations, but fuck me, I love the guy. I really do, and I think
you just wish we'd got him earlier. You just wish we got him a bit younger. Do you know what I mean?
The thing with him, right, is if he's got a weak defenders playing with him, he's going to get found out. If he's got a strong, 2 or 3 other strong defenders with him, you can carry his faults, and he's brilliant to have in your team. And I think that's what's happening at the moment, and it's great. It's so good to see the fullbacks getting forward, and we talk about the low block and being defensive all the time, but there's a lot of attacking intent going on. I was going to ask before that question came up about the back four. You're talking about the front three, and is what they're doing, is that in spite of what Moyes is telling them? Are they just doing their own thing? Because I can't imagine that Moyes is telling them.
I think it's natural. I think it's natural, mate.
And
has to be.
He's getting very, very lucky with some of the performances of the players. In my opinion, rather than having a plan, his plan is to not concede, and then moments of brilliance are winning us games, which is great. But
he's dependent upon it.
I don't know.
Go on, Dave.
I was going to say, I think there's a lot more tactical stuff going on that's from Moyes than we give him credit for, to be honest. Yeah. I think, Alvarez tucks into that centre half position so the fullbacks can get forward. I think that's all calculated. I think, I think the one thing you can say for Moyes that is annoying is when there's teams that are vulnerable and we don't press them, and that's what we weren't doing to Man United, right? We weren't pressing their players, we weren't creating a thing, and we were sort of just sitting back and sucking up. I think that's the thing you can say. Well, that's frustrating.
As soon as someone starts talking about Moyes in a nice light, it starts going a bit weird.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I just think we tend to blame everything on Moyes, and then we say, he hasn't got any talent whatsoever. I think some of that tactics and defensive,
It's just your camera, and you were starting to go fuzzy and going out of range. So I was just saying, as soon as someone started talking about Moyes in a nice light, you just start going all weird.
Yeah.
But you might be right. You might be right.
He's not an idiot.
At some stage in the game, he might go, all right, this is the time to take the shackles off. This is what we planned. Who knows? None of us know that. But at some point in the games, it does change. So whether that is down to them as players or down to him as a manager, we will never know that.
Well, no, I think it's down to. I think the tactical switch is definitely down to him. I think the decision to play. You could see it the other day, right? You could see it the other day because you can. We saw in the first half how deep we were sitting. I took a photograph of early in the second half, and that was literally how we'd been for the first 60 odd minutes, and that was with Bowen in the centre circle and the other players all behind him on the edge of the 18-yard box and beyond, and that is the way we played up until that point. So I didn't rush back to my seat after the second half. I casually took that photo on the way back to my seat, and it was still going like that for another 5 or 10 minutes. And then what you saw was Paqueta was told to go into the centre. Bowen was told to go out to the right, where Kudus had been having a hard time off of Shaw, but now Shaw's got a relatively fresh Bowen to run against. So we think, oh, fucking hell, not another one. And then Kudus kind of played, he played behind, didn't he? He played behind, or was it? It's so fluid, it's difficult to read. But then he put Ward-Prowse over on the left, right? So he put those three over that side and Ward-Prowse over on the left, which is slightly different combination to what he'd done previously. He'd had Bowen on the left. It's a really fluid formation. If as soon as that is the signal that he's going to let those players loose, and that's what he does, and he does it from about 65, 70 minutes onwards. And if you go back to that podcast that Antonio did, if you remember, where he said we defend for 70 minutes and then we go for it in the last 20, it's this, right? It's this. I don't agree with it because you could be losing. You could be losing 65, 70 minutes. You sit back against Arsenal, for instance, the likelihood is we're going to be losing by that point. So I don't agree with it as a tactic, but you can't deny it's his tactic, and it will work every now and then, and it worked beautifully the other day.
And he probably
and it worked against Spurs too, right?
We've won games from losing positions as well. And look, you're talking about there what you've seen. I think that's something that I certainly really miss only watching games on TV. Like when you're at a game, you can watch a player running around for a couple of minutes, and you can actually work out what's going on. And we're limited to watching what the TV cameras show us. So it is a bit of a distorted view that we get. We don't have that, scope of seeing what's going on in the stadium. And I think, we're not here to have a go at Moyes. I just wonder sometimes whether what's happening is in spite of him.
Yeah.
But he's not an idiot. As somebody said in the comments, and what he's doing is working. You just scratch your head sometimes as to what's going on.
I think what I'd say, right, is the Villa Man United game, right, shows you that you can be a completely opposite philosophy, right, and still get it wrong and still have a bad day. They went 2 up against Man United. And I was saying to the boys before, like, what if we pressed early, got a goal? Man United are going to come at us hard and come back. They're going to come back and come hard. So I think that 60 minutes, frustrating as that 60 minutes of grinding it out was, it then allowed us to do that switch, as you said, Gary, and then turn on the good stuff. Whereas Villa went the other way, tried to press them early and then got fucking done late in the game and bottled it.
Ain't it a bit criminal, though, with the front three that we've got? With the attacking options that we've got to keep them locked up for 65 minutes.
Yeah. Because what it did, it sucked the life out of the United team. It sucked the life out of me. It sucked the life out of everybody watching the game.
And let's be under no illusions, right? That was a shit Man United side. I know they beat Villa a couple of days later, just about like in the last. I think it was the last knock-ins of the game. But watch the goals in that game. They're poor. I mean, they're comical from both sides, actually. Man United are not Man United at the moment.
What it's like watching West Ham under Moyes, because my dad was over. He was sat next to me watching the game.
Yeah.
And half time, he turned to me and said, that was absolutely shit. That's why I don't bother watching the games. And 10 minutes into the second half, I turned to him and said, this is fucking awful. And yet, half an hour later, the place is buzzing. We've won 2-0. We've done United, and it's fucking happy Christmas. And you can't argue with the result. But there's just painful times getting there.
I don't think you can argue with his record as a manager. His record as a manager is really good, right? But like Gary Innes just said there, good name, Gary, perfect, right? What he's what you got to look after Gary's, because we're a dying breed. There won't be many of us left. I think we're all dead by 2050, according to some.
This is the Gary.
The Gary community.
This is the Gary that I met in the pub.
Ah, right. Yeah.
So the day after the Liverpool game, and I went in there, drowned my sorrows, and he was sitting in there, just him on his own with his Thames Ironworks shirt, and I just went,
lovely.
Bad day at the office, wasn't it?
Where were you, Ryan?
What's that?
Yeah.
Where were you?
In a pub.
Yeah, okay. I got a bit confused. I saw Nathan was playing golf, so I thought you were playing golf over in Bulimba. That's why I thought you met him over there.
No golf for me, mate. But I'll tell you what, this is a good question going quite nicely into the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
Tony Martin, evening lads. How will the crowd react or treat Declan tomorrow?
Can I just say, right, in your chat there, you've got actually what's happening to the West Ham fans in general. You got Garry and Oz saying that Moyes is a horrible fucker, and then you got Frank Kingston saying we're winning with Moyes, we start losing with Moyes. And no, sorry, I got it completely wrong. What you usually get, sorry Frank, I'm doing you wrong there, but what you usually get, what I read in my early morning just woke up thing is that someone saying we're winning with Moyes. If you want to start losing, go to someone else, because that is what you usually get with the crowd divide at the moment, right? And yeah, it's bloody horrible. So anyway, that's irrelevant. Thank you. Sorry, Frank. Declan Rice.
I get what you're saying, though, Gary.
Yeah, it's horrible having the fan divide. Isn't it?
Horrible. Yeah. It is. It's not nice. Yeah,
and it was tough because even on Saturday night when we were all sitting there in the pub, like I watched the 60 minutes, and you were sitting with me, Matt, and I was like, "This is fucking shit." and you got people behind me saying, "Oh, like it's Man United." It's like this is the worst Man United team I've ever fucking seen.
It was. Yeah.
Like so, and then when you say we've got the front three that we have, like why aren't we fucking using them? So anyway, but yeah, as you say, there is a massive divide anyway. Well, there was just me and about 40 people on Saturday.
Just wish there wasn't. I wish there wasn't. It's only social media driven. It's not in the ground or in the pub or anywhere like that. You don't. You very rarely have an argument face to face with another West Ham fan, do you? I never have.
Yeah, no. Oh, me and David had a few. Right, do you want to answer this then, Matty?
Oh, come on.
What do you reckon?
Yeah. So how will the crowd treat Declan tomorrow? Look, to be honest, what I would like to see is just nothing, just no reaction to him at all. He came to Upton Park, he got a decent reception by all accounts, and then he got a little bit of sort of pantomime stick. Just forget about him now. We want to beat Arsenal, or we want to take points off Arsenal to improve our league position. There's nothing more to it than that for me. He probably will get a bit of stick because the away fans like a bit of fun on the travels. And if he does, I don't have any problem with that. I'd hate for us to go there at their place and start fucking applauding him. I think just do nothing or give him a little bit of stick, nothing over the top. That's my opinion. What about you, Dave? What do you think?
I've come around a little bit to him. Like I think, look, good luck to him. I think at the end of the day, we've replaced him really well. We just held the three players that we replaced him with in really high esteem, chatting just now, and I think we've come out of it better off. So we can hold our heads up high and say, well, look, the deal done us good. He wants to go somewhere where he feels he can win trophies. I'd love it if he didn't win any trophies there. I think that would be brilliant. But, let's be realistic. We're not where Arsenal are at the minute. We may get there one day, but we're not. So, look, I now respect the history that we had with him. He lifted that trophy for us. And I hope that we'll look back with a bit of fondness one day and go that he was our player for that period of time. And we loved him for that. At the moment, it's all a little bit new relationships break up kind of thing in it, and it's all a bit weird, isn't it? But yeah, I hold him no grudge now, and like you say, you think, well, let's not make this about Declan Rice playing his old club. Let's make it about trying to get something away at Arsenal.
I agree. Right, I agree with both of you. There's no reason to make this personal. Like we used to do. He ain't Frank Lampard. He ain't Paul Ince, right? This guy gave it his all. He didn't even go missing for a couple of games here and there, right? The guy was ever present for us in the last several years. Was our captain. I think we won the Hammer of the Year 3 times. He lifted a trophy for us. I don't know what more you want out of the kid other than to give you, 3, 4, 5 really brilliant years of service and never let the standards drop, because he never did he? We created the player that Arsenal have got. Arsenal think that they've created a player. He's doing the same. He was our best player last year. He's their best player this year. We could have told them that was going to happen, right? He's a proper player. I was in Prague, lucky enough to be in Prague in the stadium. I'll never forget the love he got and the players got that night. He'll never experience that anywhere else, because after 43 years, that was special. It doesn't matter what Arsenal go on to win. In recent memory, they've won the Premier League, they've won this, they've won that. It won't be a celebration like that. That was special. And he'll never feel that at Arsenal, because he'll be one of many. I know he's special for them. He is kind of special for them, but make no mistake, he was special for us. Arsenal is a stepping stone for him.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Yeah, that's not his final destination, is it?
No, God, far from it. And that means that is whether he wins something with them or doesn't win something with them. In fact, if he wins something with them, he's going to be worth even more money, right? He'll be going somewhere else. He'll be off to one of the big boys, the real big boys after that, because I know it's an upwards move to Arsenal. They are a bigger club, but it's really sideways upwards, right? It ain't like going to, Arsenal are big, but they're not enormous. Like you could say Man U are, Liverpool are, PSG, all of those sort of clubs, right? Real Madrid.
What do you think, Kingy? You're going to be screaming at your TV tomorrow?
I think the only thing I didn't like about, and everyone can look at this is my opinion. I just hated the fact that he would have known that he was leaving. Yeah. And everyone was singing the song 10 more years, da, 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 and he's doing this. And I don't know. I don't like that. That's just my opinion.
I agree with that, but what was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? Not enjoy it,
but you don't. If it was a different song, Gary, 100% agree. But when the fans are singing 10 more years and you're off, and then you're conducting it, I just thought that was a bit of a piss take. But I understand he needs to enjoy it, blah blah blah. But I just didn't like the whole conducting thing when you're off, and the fans that we loved him. And we sung that song to him thinking that we could change his mind. Obviously, that was never going to happen. But the fact that he was doing the conducting thing, I just felt like it was a bit of a piss take. That's just my opinion.
To me, I thought it was a little bit of a joke song anyway. There was no way he was staying. We knew he was going. He knew he was going. So we were just singing it to him. Maybe a couple of people.
I didn't fucking know.
You didn't think it was a real song, did you? You didn't think we were asking him to sign a new contract, did you?
Yeah, I heard he was on a $500,000 a week for a 20-year fucking contract. No,
I had to go round to Kingy's and console him the day he left.
I'll tell you
always
what,
that sliver of hope, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
you always you're like, please.
And that's the kid in you. That's the kid in you. You just like,
I know. You
just want him to fucking be your hero forever. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what it was for me.
You know what?
I'm just going to go through some of these comments quickly now. We've got quite a few, so I'll just quickly. Just talking about the clips from earlier. The Chinese guy was funny as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Well. You did get the right one. Yeah, it was fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Yeah.
Can't understand a word. Although John won't believe me, but you just don't need to. Ben H. Pac-Man loves a killer pass. Yes, he does.
He does.
What a goal. What a goal. We've got Kent Hammers as well. Really fancy us if we play like we should tonight, but Moyes' tactics will get us beat 3-0. How do you think he's going to set up for this tonight, guys? Do you think that he will sit on that part of the bus?
Yeah.
Depend on the front
100%. He ain't doing anything else.
And do you know what? I'll be honest. I can understand it in a game like this. I can. It's not what I want to see, but given where we are, a point would be great tomorrow. I'd take a point right now. I honestly wouldn't mind defending for 70 minutes and seeing what happens. I don't have an issue with it doing it, in these types of games. It's doing it in all the other games that drives me mad. So yeah, I completely think that he'll set up that way.
Yeah, I sort of do see your point in that you don't want to push forward and leave yourself open at the back. Yeah, I think that is the way he will play, without a shadow of a doubt. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. What we have got, though, we have got a pacey counter-attack. What we had against Man United was no counter-attack whatsoever. If you look at, I've got this photo I took, it was literally just bowing up front in his own. It was like when Antonio played. So there wasn't really a counter-attack even available. So you're literally going to do what we did against Tottenham in the first half, and we were lucky to get away with that.
Yeah,
and you've got to bear in mind Moyes' record.
I don't think we can afford to do it, mate. I really
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it because if you look at Moyes' record away to these big clubs, Kingy, we lose every time. Apart from Tottenham, we lose every time.
And that's what I mean. Like, I don't think if we found a way that we can actually hurt teams by letting them front three go, fucking have a go at this Arsenal defence. That's what I say. Because if we can hit them and we can play the way we play in patches, then we'll be just as good as them on our day, I think.
You got to press it and get in their faces and give them no time on the ball, because if you let them settle and let them get after, like they always get after Soufal, Arsenal, always. And Martinelli loves running at Soufal, and Soufal's nearly got himself sent off a few times. We've got no reason. We've got no reason with the players that we've got. You look at our front three; they could be playing for any team in that league, including Man City. There's no reason with players like that and the strength in depth that we've got in our first 11. There's no need to sit back and be fearful of teams. You should push out and go for it, in my opinion, and try to win every game. Because if anything, that is the West Ham way. Sitting back, defending for 90 minutes or 70 minutes ain't the West Ham way. Never has been, never will be.
There's a comment here, a question from Wazim Butt, who's asking, is this game now becoming a bigger rivalry because of Declan Rice?
Possibly.
No, I think we hate them more. Vested interest in beating them.
I don't think it's because of Rice, I think it's because of the piss taking from their fans when they signed Rice. It's their own fault, and I think it could be, this could be. Nick called it earlier in the season. This could be another Tottenham now. Yeah,
and Arteta's an absolute arsehole, isn't he?
He's a wanker, isn't he? Yeah, can't stand the bloke.
He is.
He's like the wife that you want to leave, but you can't get away. You know what I mean? They will hunt you down.
Got you locked in the attic. Like that.
Are you all right, Kingy? Ring me afterwards, mate.
Or the Samaritans, one or the other.
No, the problem is mine wants to see me. Unfortunately, that's the thing. She wouldn't lock me away. That's the problem. John's just said Zuma is the modern day Paul McGrath. Apparently, doesn't train. He doesn't need to train if he's doing things like that, does he? Let's be honest. West Ham Ryan for 30 grand a week. We can't complain with his performances.
So foul, yeah.
So foul.
I'll tell you what, it's the sort of game that, like, if we do go on the front foot and then you've got someone like Martinelli running down if they're on the counter, this is the sort of game where you want Soufal to whack him. Do you know what I mean? Them sort of tackles are what ignites a game. Like, so it's another thing why I think we need to go like front foot. Needs a pay rise, yes, 100%. John, where's all the blonde Australian birds on this channel? I can see ugly English blokes down my local. Yeah.
We'll wear a blonde wig for you next week, mate, if that's what turns you on.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Dave, you might sound like you might not make it to next week.
We're not even an Australian channel. We're actually all down Romford, actually. Yeah. It's just a joke. Don Logan, think Heitinga is having more influence lately.
On the tactics,
has to be. It's like there might be two lots of it. You know what I mean? Moyes is like, right, I'm having it for 60 minutes. I'm going to do it my way. If we do all right, we'll carry on. And
that's extreme, now, isn't it?
I'm obviously joking.
Yeah. Someone said that in the comments earlier, though, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Said Heisinger had a word in Moyes' ear at 70 minutes. I'm sure he was joking. But yeah, the people have been taking it to that extreme. It's like one game, whenever we lose, it's Moyes' fault. Whenever we win, it's Heisinger's fault. You can't really.
No, can't win, can he?
It's like when Andy Murray used to play. It was like, if he wins, he's fucking British. If he loses, he's Scottish.
Yeah.
Budgie, hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Same from Nick. Heitinga absolutely having more impact tactically.
I think he is. I think he is, but just can't take all credit away from Moyes. You know what I mean?
No.
And I don't like Moyes. Going back to what Garry was saying earlier, he is an horrible bastard. And the reason I can't stand him is not to do with his footballing achievements, right? It's to do with what he's like as a bloke. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude to the youth. I don't like the way he has such a small squad. I don't like the way he does substitutions. There's so much I don't like about the bloke, but you can't criticise his footballing achievements. He's done all right for us.
Do you know what I fucking hate? I used to love watching, like, our managers talk after the game. I can't stand that prick. Listening to him.
Makes you cringe.
He's just such an arrogant fucker to people. And it's actually to people. I wouldn't treat people the way he treats people.
That's right.
Like when he's talking to them. It's just not.
When he's
won.
Not right. When he's won, he's great, right? When he's lost, the slightest little question that he doesn't like from a journo, he fucking goes after him, and he's a bully, right? He's a massive bully, and I hate that. I don't like bullies.
Nah, same as me, mate.
Garry and Oz agrees with our sentiments. He says Moyes isn't an idiot; he's just fucking horrible.
Yeah, exactly right.
And he also says, "Oh, sorry, I'll just come with this one. I saw Heitinger having a word with Moyes just before that change." Kieran reckons Bowen's still more effective on the right, which
I agree with that.
I think we agree.
What you got to say though is the slings and throws of the game, right? So obviously Kudos has been softening him up all game, and Shaw thinks his job here is done, and then all of a sudden we switch around and he puts a relatively fresh Bowen onto him, and Shaw's thinking, oh fucking hell. So you can't really judge the two, can you? Because it's
no. Once you knacker a player out. It's like I always love coming on a sub now on like the 89th minute. Do you know what I mean? Because it's everyone's battered them for me, and I've just got 5 minutes to play. Fresh
legs.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's what Bowen gives on the right, though, isn't it? It's something different to what Kudus gives, and I think when Bowen's in the middle, we miss what Bowen does give on that right hand side. I do get the sentiment.
It is great, but also Kudos is great on the right as well when he's in the mood. Look at what he's done against Burnley in the last couple of minutes. But recently, you've seen Bowen play on the left, and he's left-footed, so is Kudos, and he went straight down. He put in some blinding crosses. Both, it doesn't matter where you play them. You got those three, and you've got Ward-Prowse now. You can swap them around.
Yeah, Garry, you'll like this one, mate. So this is Garry. This is your other mate, Garry. So when I saw him in the pub, and I went up to him and said hello. He was watching his phone, and he was watching the Liverpool meltdown from your show.
Oh, that was a proper meltdown, wasn't it?
It was fucking brilliant. I couldn't have got any better.
Fucking hell, that was an angry show, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Kent Hammers, mixed reception. I won't clap him and I won't boo him. And that's about Rice, and I think
that's fair enough.
That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do.
Yeah. Just another player now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another comment here from Rani Bubble, which I think is fair enough. No need to turn Rice into a hate figure. Give him some pants when we can and respect what he's done for us. I think that's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with giving him a bit of stick because he's an Arsenal player. You don't need to vilify him.
It's a football crowd, right? It's a football crowd. You're not going to control everyone. Some people are going to be booing him, right? That's up to them if they want to do that. But a couple of little boos like he got at London Stadium now, right? And that's all it was, a handful of people, right? You can't just have a go at the whole crowd over that. You got to see it for what it is.
Yeah. Budgies just said this, and I put this in our group chat the other day, gents. And I said, would you take Jordan Sancho on loan in January? And I said, that's the shout. Like you got the Euros coming up in Germany. You've got 6 months left to play. If there's any way that he's going to get in that England team, you just have to look back at the Jesse Lingard days, mate, and go, they were good for him. Why can't they be good for me? Do you know what I mean? I would take him. Yeah.
He's got to be a better option than Cornet and Ben Rama at the moment, hasn't he? You would think.
Yes. How would you fit him into the team?
They're going to the AFCON as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he wouldn't get in the starting team now, would he? But
Cornet and Ben Rama are not going to the AFCON. They've not been picked, right? They've not been picked for their teams. So because they're getting so little game time, and I think Ben Rama's even fallen out with the international boss.
Yeah, he got dragged off though, didn't he? Do you remember? The manager grabbed him by the throat. Yeah.
I'd love to drag him by the throat.
Kieran, hello, mate. Nice to see you in the chat, mate. Rice is only a Chelsea reject. I would ignore him. Yeah,
it's like you said earlier, Ryan. He's just irrelevant to me. I'm totally biased about West Ham. Anything outside of West Ham, I don't care about. I don't watch other teams' games or anything. So he's just another team's player now.
John, I fucking hate Arsenal, and I hate the fact he's gone there. But I'll never boo him. But as an Arsenal player, I don't want him to fuck. I'll win fuck all there either.
Yeah,
that's where I am.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, John, we agree on something, mate.
Yeah.
Finally. Here we go. We'll just get through a few of these and then we'll have a wrap up. And but yeah, thanks for everyone for being in it. Garry and Oz again. I hope Declan gets what he deserves. Trophies with England, though, not Arsenal. Yes, I agree.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice. Funny. It'd be so funny if Arsenal still won fuck all, even with him.
Yeah, it really would.
Yeah.
Mr. Mace, Can't stand even looking at Rice with his divvy ace.
To be fair, his barnet's better than he used to be.
He's had some terrible haircuts, hasn't he? He's had some terrible haircuts.
That is brilliant.
Quality comment.
One person I do want to give a shout out to, and who actually came on Saturday night. This, the elusive 50 pence, mate, Matty Nolan. Yeah. So he was at the pub on Saturday night, but he didn't know where we were sitting. So I hired the room. We hired the room out, Garry, right? Yeah. Hired the room out the back because it had aircon, put the food in there, all good.
Yeah.
One of our subscribers, he's gone down there from the Gold Coast, which is about an hour and a half drive to watch the game, right? Dedication. Yeah. I've come out after the game, after about an hour, and I just see this geezer, and he had like these two little hammers on his finger. I went, was you in the room, mate? And he went, nah, I couldn't fucking find it, mate. So 50 pence, lovely to have a drink with you on the Saturday night after the game, but I'm sure you'll be back down with us another time. And what a top quality fella as well.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, I missed you, mate. I was in the room with all the other hammers.
That ain't true, is it? What is written there? Garry in Japanese means diarrhea.
Absolutely, mate. 100%.
Fucking no way.
Nice.
I've got no idea.
I'm not going to look it up.
True.
I've never heard that before.
Someone Ben Hate. Rice is a top player and has gone to a club competing for league title. Can't begrudge him for that. Players have relatively short careers.
Yeah. It ain't about him. It's about their wanker fans, isn't it? That's all it is. It ain't about him.
It is. It's about the YouTube fans and the social media side of it. I fucking hate it. But I tell you what, I will absolutely love it if we beat them tomorrow to go on there and watch it. Because it's going to be awesome.
Means diarrhea in Japanese.
Yeah,
does it?
Yeah. Well, that's fuck off. It does it?
It does. I just googled it.
Get it? Oh, that is bollocks. I've never heard that before.
Going for a Garry, lads. Just going
us in the Garry community. Us in the Garry community are fucking outraged.
You're going to be called doo-doo down the pub.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing now, isn't it?
Damien Dwyer.
Gary's playing.
When did you fly back, Dave? Back to Oz, mate?
I didn't, mate.
No, he's still
over in England. Yeah.
No, when do you
I'll see you end of January.
Oh, fuck me. Sorry, yeah.
Late January, mate. See you then.
Yeah. You're gonna wait for the hot weather to pass a little bit. It's a little bit too hot.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Ronnie Bubble, bigger piss take is Sully pissing on our cornflakes straight after though. That's about the Declan Rice thing.
Yeah.
Following morning, wasn't it? Following morning.
Fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a little. Oh, I can't stand that bloke. Really can't stand him.
I think we were still in the pub.
He pissed me off too. But but you go retrospectively though. You go retrospectively though, and you go, well, what he says is exactly right. He said, well, don't be under any illusions with all this shit. He's going. Yeah. So at least he was honest. But
but no need to do it the morning after.
My fucking cornflakes, Dave. That's who pisses on my cornflakes is Dave.
Yeah. Why's that?
And not Sullivan.
Oh, David Sullivan.
No, the one in the left top corner.
Oh, that Dave. Yeah.
But what am I pissing on your cornflakes?
Go on.
He always pisses on my cornflakes.
Do I?
I think you're all right.
Nick is the Chinese guy. That is funny, actually. Nick used to get called Chinese. I shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say that out loud.
Thank you very much, Damien. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. I just went self-employed today. Got a new little hairdressing space. So if any of you want to send over your little Sheilas for a haircut, send them over to me. Here we go. John, genuinely, I want to beat Arsenal. So yeah, I can't even read that. My eyes are gone.
I want to beat Arsenal.
So as much as I'd like us to take the game to them, if we shit out a win, that will taste even sweeter.
Yeah.
Literally
anything, literally any win, any form of win there, but just not lose. Just don't lose, and especially don't get slaughtered.
Yeah. I would honestly be more than happy with a draw.
West Ham, Ryan.
Got a couple of mates who support dirty Arsenal. They ain't confident West Ham is a worrying side for them. I think we are a worrying side for anyone if we play. And that's the thing with us, isn't it? Like we could go there and give them a game, or we could go there and be absolute dog shit. I think it's the fear of the unknown when you play against us.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. No one's going to look at our first 11 and not worry about them. Nobody.
He's also said they need to be pressed. They get uncomfortable.
I don't like
similar to the cup game. It's the only way to beat them. Yeah. 50 pence is the new trigger.
That's fucking brilliant. Let's do a couple more of these then, and then we'll call it a night, lads.
Yeah. There's one here. Virgil said that Zinchenko can't defend, and then Kieran said John Zinchenko is the weak lad. He's not. His first name's not John, mate.
Fucking hell, that was quick.
It is, but it's not John.
That was quick.
That was good.
It's not quick. I had that lined up for 5 minutes. Right?
Oh, John Zinchenko.
Your brother's taking the piss out of you now, Gary. Always knew you were.
I can't believe 50 pence has just turned into my most hated YouTuber. You know that? For fucking putting that out there. Gary, the budget just said thanks for that 50 pence. He said, "I'm just popping. I've got a touch of the Garys." He said just now.
But this is a good one. Obviously, we don't go to the games, Gary. You can answer that one, mate. Is it sung or not?
Oh no, it was sung the other day when he was walking, when he got taken off and he was behind the goal, but he didn't really take any notice of it, to be honest. I don't know whether he's a bit fed up with it now. But it did.
His missus has probably had a go at him.
Well, it peaked in Prague, and he was actually, it's funny when there was a video of Danny Dyer actually singing it, right? The old Danny Dyer. But in Prague, he was actually videoing us, and he had a big smile on his face and stuff like that because it was really loud in Prague. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it just went, it had its moment, didn't it? You know, great song though.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have that as the last comment, but thanks to everyone that's joined in tonight on the chat. It's probably been our biggest one we've had, actually. So Gary, you've picked up the numbers for us, I think, mate.
Well, I struggled out the shower. To get here, but I think it's a nice. Put plenty of people off on Christmas holidays as well. So
exactly.
It's been fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been good.
We've had like a bit of a. Normally our show we just talk about weather, so it was nice to actually have someone come on and talk about football.
We should stay on the weather quite a while, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But that's all right. But honestly, great chat tonight. Gary, thanks so much for coming on. If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel. And we'll just keep moving on and hopefully we beat Arsenal in the morning. So, cheers, lads. Number one. Nice one.
Thank you.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you
Irons.
Go on, you Irons.
Yeah. Thanks, lads.